Many girls will say they didn't get much coming out of FIDM, but I wasn't going to allow that to happen to me. I sat in my classes, I paid attention, and I strategized on how I can get more out of my classes than what they were actually giving me. So basically, I came up with my mobile boutique while I was sitting in FIDM classes. I was a sad, undeclared Cal Poly student, confused on what major to choose. I also had a job at Forever 21 where I absolutely fell in love with fashion. One day my older sister asked me, why don't you just go to FIDM? And I thought to myself, why don't I just go to FIDM? So the next day after school, I parked on Cadillac Drive and I called FIDM. And I set my appointment and I told myself, let's do this. I knew I wanted to own my own store, so I reviewed every major possible and I came to the conclusion merchandise marketing was the best bet for me. It gave me a pool of everything I needed, from business, sales, fashion, promotion, etc. It helped break down the structure of a business that I would need for my future business. So I went with that major and honestly, no regrets. My top 4 FIDM classes that were most influential to me and my business were brand management, that pretty much taught me branding, entrepreneur class, which pretty much taught me how to make a business plan, promotions and merchandising, taught me how to make a press kit, how to run a blog, website, all that stuff cohesively. And then last but definitely not least is merchandise presentation, which brought everything together for me and made me literally see the vision of where I was gonna go. All these classes were super helpful for me because they had me use my imagination in ways that I would have never. It pushed me to, figure out how to make a business plan for a coffee shop. It showed me, how to brand out a new energy drink. It showed me new ways to do things that I never even knew came together like that. And as complicated as it seems, it's so simple. So let's start with the fact that in 2011, early 2011, I had a blog called Gossip Material. It was a gossip blog that I talked about celebrities, and I also talked about the retail world and how crazy it can be. I stuck with it for almost a year, maybe a little more, and I wrote on the blog like consistently, maybe every week. So one of my classes were promotions and merchandising. So I kind of took my gossip material and just made it into whatever the project was in class. So I made a media kit for my gossip material blog, which actually turned into a online retail store. So that taught me so much in breaking down like a media kit and showing me what's important when promoting your company or brand. It got me so pumped up and excited that after I did the project, I actually came up with my secondhand clothing company that was called Previously Loved Closet. Like, it's not even a big deal, okay? I literally put this with yarn and just pinned it onto the clothing. I actually gathered up a bunch of clothes, got my brother's old soccer tent, and popped up a tent at the swap meet over by the 5 freeway. And the cool thing about vending at the swap meet when you have secondhand clothing is it's like pretty much free because it's secondhand clothing. So my first try was very successful and I was very happy, and it wasn't even with my mobile boutique. It was just me on my own with some racks, hangers, and then I also had a huge sign that said my mission statement for Previously Loved Closet. So while I'm in these classes, I'm starting to understand the importance of things like having a mission statement. So that's when I came up with my own. So my mission statement for my old company was called Previously Loved Closet. Our mission for Previously Loved Closet is to provide our customers with hand-picked previously loved items, making sure each previously loved piece is taken care of with hugs and kisses. We keep fashion in mind and give you one-of-a-kind, thrifty, vintage-inspired closet at an affordable price that allows our customers to be creative, stay unique, and keep money in their pockets. So that's just a little something that I put out there, and it just, honestly, even just seeing seeing that out there just made the business look structured. It made the business look professional. And that was all because I learned that from my classes. The number one class at FIDM that really just was just like, wow, I don't know what the world is doing right now, but it's formulating for me, was my merchandise presentation class. So my teacher pretty much, we had to present a whole thing for like your business, from the floor layout to your target market to your demographics to like the color sequence in your store. All that had to be laid out. We were doing all that. Everybody in the class got a different business. So it could have been like a dry cleaner, it could have been a shoe store, and she just pulled it out of a little like hat she had, and she had all of them in there. And I remember being one of the last ones, and because I was very shy back then, I didn't want to be like me first. So nonetheless, I was one of the last ones, and sure enough, she pulled out vintage store. And I remember the whole class going, "Aw," because they all wanted it. And I just remember like being inside thinking like, oh my God, like, did this just really happen? This class pretty much helped me come up with the vision of how I saw my store in the future. So my shop name was Green Wine Vintage. I pretty much just drew that. And I forgot to write my name on my paper apparently. Told you I wasn't perfect. Also created bags. I figured out how to sew little bags together to show like the free eco-friendly bags I would have inside. They're not perfect bags or anything, but I still have them from this day because it's just like, I did that. So this was my board I made to show how the inside of my store would look. I showed the sequence of colors, the different textures that's going to be in the store. My tags that I made too, that I said that that's what they were going to be. The different kind of products that I would carry that were kind of similar. My suitcases, you guys all know me for my suitcases. My dressing room, which is like exactly like that. That's why I think it's hysterical. And yeah, just the simplicity. I think it's so cool with all these. And now I have the boards in the back of the store. So yeah, I just had a really good time in this class creating these projects because it felt like everything I wanted was coming to life. Okay, now I'm going to show you the rest of the stuff, guys. Last but not least, I had my target market board. So I pretty much broke down my target market, where they shop, how their lifestyle is, what they like, what they do in their spare time kind of thing, and just put it all together. I had so much fun putting these projects together. I just feel like, honestly, if it wasn't for this class and making me do this, I don't think my store would be as cohesive together. And I feel like a lot of people that come into my shop, they always tell me how everything goes and everything flows. And I really believe it's because I broke it down. I broke down everything I imagined in my head and I put it somewhere. And that made me see that I can create, I can continue this. It doesn't stop in class. Like, I have to keep going. So this is one of my proud projects. My imagination came into play the most. I definitely think just sitting in my classes, getting all that information from my teachers and just thinking of like, what would work for me? What would work for my future? What is the next step kind of thing? And just, just learning about trend forecasting, learning about the cost of a business. This all broke down to I was a 22, 21-year-old girl who barely had any money in her bank account, and I had to figure out how I was going to have a boutique by the time I left FIDM. And that was the question I always asked myself, was how was I going to have my own boutique when I left FIDM? And I believe that me saying that to myself definitely made me work my imagination to figure out, I could just get a trailer and create a store from there, and then that would bring down overhead costs, and it would also help my consumers because they wouldn't have to spend as much at my store. But it was step by step. It's like obviously all that just didn't formulate. That all was from, you know, from one class to the next class to the next class, and just taking from each class and figuring out how I was going to use that information for myself. From my vision boards, to me doodling in class, to my failed attempt at creating a blog, to me purchasing my trailer in October 2011, to me completing my mobile boutique business in October 2012. I had put myself in a position to have no other choice. Sink or swim, ride or die, get creative or get lost. And I can tell you, after 7 years, if you put yourself in a position to sink or swim, you will learn how to swim. Thanks guys for listening to me. Have a good day.